We're bringing a lot of energy into this recording tonight.
Weird as in the amount of weirdness is exactly
proportional,
congruent with the amount of static electricity currently residing on your head.
What are you talking about? What's weird?
Probably the hair, the 80s hair metal wig that you have on right now that I insisted that you wear to the recording since you only got it a few hours ago, and I was like, you sent me a picture of it, now I need you to wear it the whole recording.
This is your fault, Jay.
I was 100% already going to wear this to the recording anyway, let's be real.
Yeah.
Honestly, I probably should have waited to post that in Discord until after.
You look like you're about to try to gaslight me into thinking that you always had an English accent. You look like you would change your name so that people don't know you're from Jersey, but you're actually from Jersey and you have a cousin named Tony.
I was going for like 80s hair metal. It really, I think, truly is just like what you get if you order Kenny Omega off of Wish.
The wig isn't blonde enough.
I know, they fucked it up.
They fucked it up. You do look like every 80s heel that ever existed directly after a match.
Yeah.
Not enough receding hairline for that,
I feel pretty powerful. Hey, look, I got that without the wig enough, alright?
I'm telling you, comb it down just a tiny bit.
Nah,
it's
perfect.
fantastic.
It's perfect.
No, I'm not... For the look that he's going for, it's perfect. I'm saying, in regular use, if you comb it down a little bit,
Jay,
it's perfect for
Jay,
just
I'm not
regular
gonna just
use.
go to Target like this.
Why not? Sounds like a coward thing. Sounds like... I'm hearing cowardice in your voice. This is a coward decision.
We do have to make a Target trip tomorrow. I wonder if I walked out of this room with this on, the reaction my wife would have. She would probably just leave without me.
I think you would be dead. I think you would be dead. I think my dearest friend, one of my dearest friends, would not come back from Target. I do not think one of my dearest friends would arrive at Target. I do not think one of my dearest friends would leave the building. Welcome to Star Wars Every Week Forever, the podcast in which we watch one Star Wars movie every week forever. This week, we begin the 15th rotation with The Phantom Menace. Ben, how's your watch?
Star Wars fucking pisses me off.
Our first proper viewing back. Why does Star Wars piss you off?
This George Lucas is a piece of shit.
Wow.
What about today?
What about today? Oh, you mean just like with the movie, or?
What is George Lucas a piece of shit for today?
Nothing out of the ordinary, just like the space racism and all that shit.
Well, yeah. The many forms of space racism in this movie. Many.
With the political climate as it's been the past few years, I've been acutely watching is the right word, fucking surveillancing a lot of less than great organizations and what they have to say about certain people of certain religious groups. And so Watto hit different this week, and I wasn't happy about it.
Yeah. I think what Ben is trying to politely say is that George Lucas probably owns a pair of Yeezys.
He probably doesn't.
Oh,
but I wouldn't be surprised.
George Lucas owns a pair of Yeezys in spiritually owns one, because I don't think that man has ever bought his own clothing in his entire life.
The real Yeezys were all the anti-Semitism we gathered along the way.
Honey, I need 8 new flannels. What about, like, pants that fit you? 8 new flannels. Oh, now I feel like I don't like that was a call out on me. It struck me that is something that I would do if I was. Chris, how's your
my
watch?
sucked. Thank you for asking. Let me tell you, after taking a few weeks off, coming back to this was brutal. And coming back to this specifically just felt like insult on top of injury.
I had hoped that coming back would empower my attention span. Not the case. And it was I wasn't angry at it. I wasn't sad about it. I wasn't happy with it. It was a slog. It was a slog. Here's a question I don't think I've ever asked. How long does it normally take you to get through one of these movies? Because I'm telling you, it's off and on all day for me.
I mean, look, when I sit down to watch these movies, I sit down to watch these movies. Like, I don't pause it if I gotta go pee or, like, grab another cup of coffee or something, but I also do want to point out, like, I've said it many times throughout the podcast, but, like, the way my schedule works and sleep schedule and stuff, I start my day with these movies. Like, this is how my day starts.
Yeah, I've gone from I've had quite the arc throughout these past 2 years of.
You've watched them in more of a variety of ways than any
It's
of us
true.
have. Oh, it's a paintbrush.
Yeah.
Let it be known that Ben's new thing while we record is painting
Warhammer.
Minis.
40K minis. So you were saying?
Oh yeah, like I would say, as much as I dislike it, the optimal watching strat is just one sitting.
Yeah. Yep.
Because it's over, it's done with, and I just, after that block of time that I suffer through and disassociate through, which I disassociate through it, so it's really like 5 minutes in my head, but after that, the rest of my week's open.
Yes.
The rest of, I don't got nothing. All my Brussels sprouts are gone. I could just.
Like, I feel that, because, like, I disassociate enough that, like, you know, what's one more time during the day?
I have to fight my attention span the entire watch. Because if I look at anything else that's not like Pokemon or something, where I could do something really simple for a long period of time without dividing my attention, if I look at, I don't know, Reddit or something, I will lose all track of what's happening in the movie for the next 20 minutes. And then I will have to debate with myself, do I have to rewind it?
No.
Usually,
the answer is always no.
I rewind it.
The answer is always no.
Because I feel like, and I've gotten less strict with myself at this point on this particular topic, but I feel like I have to at least make an effort to pay attention for the whole thing to be valid. And I do, but it's getting harder every watch, and the time off did not help.
No.
It did not help. Turns out, just as boring. I guess I paid more attention during the Duel of Fates than I have in a long time, but that's just because it's cool, and it's a coolness that I haven't experienced in a while.
Also, like, it almost feels like you have to, because it's like the one good part of this fucking dumpster fire of a movie, so...
One of the two good parts.
Shut the fuck up.
You really still feel like you have to pay attention to any part of these movies?
No, I don't
at
feel
any
like I have to
point?
pay attention to any part of it. What I'm saying is, like, yeah, I watched Duel of the Fates because I'm like, fucking, at least there's one good part of this movie. I'll watch this. Like, if I gotta fucking sit here for this, I might as well pay extra attention to the one good part, you know? Shut up, Ben.
What's wrong, Chris?
The only time that I feel like in these movies where I want to pay attention, like, hey, this is fun coming up, I want to pay attention to it, is when something it has become just flat out incredibly funny to me that is actually in the movie, not something that we've made up in our heads that happens behind the scenes, but actually happens
But
in the
Duel of
movie.
the Fates is very funny because, like, Darth Maul single-handedly kicks the shit out of 2 Jedi Masters and then is defeated while watching Obi-Wan jump out of a hole and behind him and just makes no motion to guard or do
Stands
anything.
there.
He just watches that shit happen to him.
I guess.
Like, it's literally, like, come on. No, hold on. He fucking... I'm unraveling. Raveling Duel of the Fates. Fucking 2 movies later, we watch Obi-Wan win a duel from basically the same position. Although worse, I would argue Anakin had a much easier way to defend himself. Maul's watching fucking Obi-Wan jump out of this fucking hole in the ground. He could easily just be like, nope, fucking put a foot out, kick, you know?
But here's the thing. The entire Obi-Wan and Anakin duel is pure camp hilarity. The Duel of the Fates thing takes itself slightly more serious. Like, for 16 minutes, it is non-stop one-upsman nonsense. And this is coming from me, who before all of this was my favorite duel. It is still my favorite duel, but for all the wrong reasons now. I find every minute of that duel to be funnier and funnier and funnier and funnier, whereas this is way more grounded and therefore less interesting in my brain.
See?
But I enjoyed it this time more.
But again, I mean, and I'm not going to make a case that this duel is, like, technically sound in any way, shape, or form, but as a sword fighting nerd, Duel of the Fates, at least, there's a little bit more, like, going on that interests me. The Anakin and Obi-Wan duel, like, it's fun. It's fun in the same... It's fun nonsense. In the same way that, like, if I want the technical aspect, I would watch, like, Formula 1 racing. If I wanted the fun aspect, I'll watch a Fast and the Furious movie, you know? Like...
Which you can go watch. I'm gonna keep plugging them until they notice me, senpai. Worst idea of all time, watching them all backwards in the amount of that has the name. Go watch.
But also, like, Ben, to your earlier point, I feel like all of us have gone through a bit of an arc in the last 2.5 years.
It's true. I feel like mine might be the most distinct, because when I was still living at my parents', like, it was common knowledge that I didn't have 2 hours worth of time where I was left alone to watch these movies.
Oh, I meant
and
just
now
in general,
I'm
not
just
even
like...
the way we watch these movies. I just meant in general.
Oh, I meant in the way that we watched them. I meant in the context of how Jay was talking.
Yeah. I have a bit, but it's not like a bit. It is a proposed together bit, is what I'll call it.
Okay.
I want to open an SWEWF Hall of Fame to entirely unimportant background characters that tickle our fancy.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean...
I'm a little mad I didn't think of this.
I mean, like...
I want... Yes, I want a physical Hall of Fame. I want somebody to go start a wiki on Wikia for us that keeps track of all of the SWEWF Hall of Fame members that we have inducted that are so unimportant that most people wouldn't even recognize them.
I mean, the first inductee has to be Trento Duaba, right?
Trento Duaba, Huygens. I believe these... We're making an inaugural class right now.
Well, like, I mean, like, the honorary, because, like, Trento Duaba really feels like the first completely nothing background character that we really latched onto. So, like, we can have a first class, but I feel like much in the way that a certain large wrestling company does their Hall of Fame, where there's a whole class, but there's one that's like the headliner, main inductee.
Okay. The headline is Trento Duaba. The headline of the people that we induct today is Trento Duaba. There's a lot of people... It also allows me to talk about some of my favorite characters in these movies that we forget about a lot. For example, there's one guy in this movie that makes me laugh every time. When Anakin is coming out of the CIS ship after he blows it up, and there's one coming from the inside, there's one guy, as everybody's cheering, that just goes, yeah, real played down, while everyone else is screaming and they're all in individual craft where nobody can hear them. He just goes, arm thrust, yeah. He makes me laugh every time that I'm cognizant enough to see him. He is another one that I would propose for the SWEWF Hall of Fame, one of these classes. Like, it's little stupid characters that nobody knows about, but nobody gives a shit about but us. That is the Hall of Fame to me. Like, little people that we adore. For example, double lightsaber guy in the background of Attack of the Clones that hits nothing and yet droids randomly dies. Another proposed member of the SWEWF Unimportant People Hall of Fame. We need a name for it too. We definitely need a name.
There's Khakis guy.
Khakis guy isn't actually in the movie.
Well, not this movie. Are we just doing... Well, we're...
Not in any of the movies. Khakis guy isn't in any of the movies.
Khakis guy is in
Khakis
the
guy-
holiday special.
Khakis guy...
I was
Okay,
gonna say,
do
are we
we
not
include
counting the
holiday
holiday?
special?
Absolutely.
Does that count?
Absolutely.
Or do we open, like, is this like, much like a wrestling
Alright, well, come
company that we will not, is this like this happened before the 70s, like, is this category? It's not
Look.
technically a part of the movie, but it's in its own little class inside of the class
we
of the
have
Hall
to
of Fame?
I don't
include
fucking know.
the holiday special in the Hall of Fame because B. Arthur has to be in the Hall of Fame.
No, it doesn't. I am B. Arthur's biggest fan. She is too important for this Hall of Fame. This Hall of Fame is for inconsequential people.
I mean,
By your own definitions, it's people that are important to us and no one else.
These are background characters. No. You're misunderstanding what I want this Hall of Fame to be. These are background characters that nobody would remember except us who have watched these movies.
Well, Hoogans is
Jay,
not a
how many
background
people
character.
remember? How many people remember?
If you've seen the holiday special, you remember B. Arthur's
Right,
character.
but
If you've seen the holiday special from 1978,
Right.
you know for a fact.
That's not the point. This is why I am against
No, listen.
including the holiday
Here- no,
special
Jay.
because it's just an excuse to add
Jay, I'm
everyone.
about to disprove your point because you said Hoogans is going to be in the Hall of Fame. Hoogans is a on-screen, like...
Incorrect. We were wrong about that. We thought that Hoogans was the character that rides up all fancy to Rey. Like, Hoogans is only on
No.
screen for.
I'm
0.3
sorry.
seconds.
Here's the problem. Here's what I'm doing.
You're thinking the other one. That
Here's the problem. I'm thinking of Porkins because I'm thinking of Hootkins, his actor's name.
that's an
Fucking
interesting
brain dead.
That's an interesting question. That's an interesting question.
Well, here.
Does Porkins have too much screen time to
Well,
be in
here's
this
the
Hall of
problem
Fame?
with this Hall of Fame that I'm having right now. Porkins absolutely deserves to be in this fucking Hall of Fame. Because he's a character that nobody else gives a flying fuck about except for us.
I don't know. Here's where I'm coming from. Porkins is well enough known that Porkins has entire YouTube videos dedicated to him to make fun of the fact that he exists. I'm sorry, Ben, that is what they're doing in those
Where are B.
videos.
Arthur's YouTube videos? I'm riding.
That's
I'm riding
why-
real hard
see,
for
I
B.
don't-
Arthur right now.
Jay, I feel like you're trying to make this category like broad enough,
It was my idea.
but vague enough to just
I'm not
exclude
trying to
B.
make
Arthur.
it vague. It's very specific, and I'm not trying to exclude. B. Arthur is in a decent 10 minutes of the holiday special, and if we're going to include the holiday special, it has to play by the same rules as all of the movies. For example, what's his name? Jack, or not? That's Jack
Porkins.
Porkins.
It all comes back to Porkins.
The guy that runs the diner in Attack of the Clones. I would
Dexter?
consider him Dexter. I consider him too important to be a part of this because he plays a role in the plot.
Okay, so that gives me my follow-up question. What plot relevance does B. Arthur's character have to the holiday special, the story about Chewie's family waiting for him to come
Alright, well,
home?
hold on.
What
Hold
does
I have a counter offer.
You're-
I'll meet you in the middle. B. Arthur's out.
Okay.
Can we include the hamster?
Yes, the hamster is absolutely.
Hamster is
The
in.
hamster is a perfect. Listen, the hamster is the kind of character that this Hall of Fame is.
Can
for.
I propose another two inductees then? The two stormtroopers
Yes.
who see Kylo having a temper tantrum and immediately
Yes, perfect. See, now you're understanding what the Hall of Fame is for.
All right,
now you're
I'm on
understanding
board.
what the Hall of
I got
Fame
it.
is
I
for.
understand now.
We've hit it. This is the This is my vision of the Hall of Fame. This
Now
is
here,
it.
and see, I'll circle back, because when I say the khakis guy, I'm not talking about the actual khakis guy from the holiday special. I'm talking about the weird, long-legged alien thing in Return of the Jedi,
Yes, he's not in A New Hope.
or A New Hope. Isn't it A New Hope?
Or-
No, the weird...
He's not actually in it. It's from a deleted
Is that a
scene.
deleted
But it was put into the holiday special.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm saying, if we're including a holiday special, Khakis Guy can go into it. But he is not actually in A New Hope. That is B-roll from deleted scenes
Yeah.
from A New Hope that they put into the holiday special. Because
Damn it, we got...
it was too weird for George to put into the movie, but not weird enough to keep out of the holiday special. But based on these rules, Khakis Guy can go in.
I still think we're
I have to
talking
write
about
these
different
down,
movies.
don't
I'm doing that right now.
I'm not talking about the khakis guy. I'm talking about in Return of the or A New Hope when they're walking through Mos Eisley.
Yeah,
And there's the
I know. We're talking about the
That's
same
we're talking
thing.
about the same thing.
Long Legs Guy?
That's in-
Yes. Same guy.
A New Hope.
No, it's not.
It's in the A New Hope deleted scenes that got cut from
Isn't
the
that
movie.
in A New Hope on Disney Plus? Because we referenced
No.
it.
No.
The only reason I keep calling him khakis guy is because that was a bit we did in like the first 2 rotations.
Yeah, that was...
I know, because I was watching,
the
it
special
was when I was
features
doing the
rotation.
special
My
features,
brain's
yeah.
fried. It's been like 2.5 years. I don't know what's real anymore.
It's been 2.5
But
years,
that's-
yeah.
So we got...
Is that thing in the holiday special? I thought we were talking about 2 different people.
Nope, they're the same
No, they're in,
thing.
like
It's
a back
be-
alley. It's like a short dude, and then like in front of the camera
Big-
shows the big tall legs.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Which is in the holiday special, but it was filmed for A New Hope. It was deleted scene.
So we've got Khaki Guy. We have
Khaki
Trento
Guy.
Duaba. We have
Trento Duaba is
Hamster.
the headliner of this Hall of Fame.
To put where they're from, just so I fucking remember.
Space Hamster, definitely.
Hoogens is definitely in though, right?
Hoogens for sure. The people that we've obsessed about for years absolutely have to be in. That's why I figure we just include people as we find them, one at a time. But I feel like we have
We have to
to
get a baseline.
start a class. Get a baseline. These are the people that this is about. These are the people that we've obsessed over. Let's
We
put
should
them
have
in
some
now.
honorable mentions, ones who don't technically deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, but feel like they should get honorable
Okay.
mentions, like the member of NSYNC that shit himself while filming this movie and then didn't make it into
Yes.
the movie.
Technically, he can't be in it because we made him up, but Larry the Stormtrooper, I would like to be in the honorable mentions because in no way does he qualify for this, but I feel like I feel like Larry could be any of the Stormtroopers.
I feel like we should have a subcategory of just stormtroopers, and it'll be Larry, Barry, Gary.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's our celebrity Hall of Fame for this. That's our celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame.
The guy who dual wields lightsabers in the background of the arena.
Attack of Clones, yes, and it has to be written down like that because I just want to highlight how ridiculous it is that we've noticed this
Two
person.
lightsaber guy episode.
I'm trying to think of some other good background characters.
Unfinished CGI texture, 3PO unit
Yep.
from Revenge of the Sith. I would like to.
Yep.
Okay.
This is so. I'm regretting this immediately because it is once again a problem with this podcast. Too referential, but Chris, we need a Hall of Fame
The
music.
sad thing is,
Shit.
I know exactly what characters you're talking about by the very
Because
whack job descriptions
we've-
we're giving.
Because we've all been through this together for so long.
I know what this is going to
Um,
lead to. So thank you, Jay, because this is going to lead to me on the couch tomorrow, fiddling, and my wife looking over and going, "What are you doing?" Oh, I'm just making music for a fictional Hall of Fame induction.
God.
You're welcome. Here's a question, and this will allow for a very granular description of this Hall of Fame. Is the person crying over a Rancor too important to be in this Hall of Fame?
Well, the Rancor Keeper?
I'd say the Rancor Keeper
Yeah, the
has
Rancor
a little bit
Keeper
too much
that
screen
cries.
time. If we're not going to include Porkins, who's on screen for barely any time.
Yeah,
Right?
Porkins
Porkins
has
has a
way more
lot of
time
screen
than
time. Like a surprising
Yeah.
amount of
Yeah,
screen
but
time.
not like
Ben would
all
know.
in one like big chunk. The Rancor Keeper is on screen consistently for a bit. You know,
Okay.
you get
Okay,
bits
that
and
makes sense
pieces
to
of
me.
Porkins. You know, and then Porkins is bits and pieces. So I mean, it all comes full circle.
Then let's put Jack Porkins and the Rancor Keeper in the honorable mentions area.
It works for me. The delegation agrees.
The delegation. That's a line from Attack of the Clones, but I can't remember which Confederate member says that. The delegates from so and so, blah blah blah. Let's see. Who is that? A good Hall of Fame class? Do we have any that we're not thinking of?
They're gonna come to us as we go.
Yeah, yeah. So the two stormtroopers from Force Awakens that walks away after Kylo Ren throws a fit. I would like to put up for inclusion in the Hall of Fame, Luxor droids guy with the little ring in A New Hope.
Absolutely.
The guy that was added in the special editions. I feel like that's important enough.
Oh, what's his name? Are we doing Wilro Hood? The guy who runs through Cloud City with the ice cream maker?
Yes, I think.
Because that's a big
I think
joke in the fan base, but like outside of hardcore
But
Star fans, no one really knows.
Is it one that makes us laugh?
Makes me laugh.
Fuck the Star Wars fan base. Is it one that it makes you laugh?
Me laugh. There's an entire cosplay community that was spawned from this one character who ran through with an ice cream maker. And that just tickles me.
Then I think they make it. I think they make it. They're like the bottom rung introduction though, because it feels like it's less from us and more from it's us doing our due diligence to the Star Wars fan base that doesn't listen.
I mean, I don't give a fuck about the Star Wars fan base. I just think it's hilarious.
Honestly, who gives a fuck about the Star Wars fan base?
Honorable mention, they might be giants.
No, hey, I'll sign off on them Giants going straight up just into the Hall of Fame. Honestly.
No, we can't break the rules already. This is week 1 of the Hall of Fame. We can't break the rules.
Sure we can.
Look,
it's our Hall of Fame.
It's all our Hall of Fame.
This isn't gonna make sense in
build
9 weeks. 9 weeks, it's already gonna be broken.
You're being very generous with 9 weeks.
Yeah, look, I mean, we got a whole rotation out of They Might Be Giants.
Yeah, but like they're not actually in the movie, so they shouldn't count.
They were for you.
They were for me, but even then, they were included too much in that rotation.
Do you ever hear a They Might Be Giants song? Because I imagine you still probably listen to them multiple times a week.
Yeah.
Do you ever hear it?
I mean, they're on several of my playlists,
Yeah.
and by several,
do you ever hear a They Might Be Giants song and start having non-flashbacks?
No. I joked about it, but They Might Be Giants rotation, which I consider my greatest failure on this podcast because it did not catch on, and it was only funny to me. I remember nothing about those watches. Nothing. They were transcendent to me at the time, and I remember nothing now. I know that, I know some of the ones that happened, but that's only because I open these notes every week, and I'll accidentally scroll past it every once in a while, but that's it.
I do really love that we learned recently that your notes for these movies are all in one doc that just continue.
No. One doc per movie. Yeah. One doc per movie.
Still.
Yeah. The Phantom Menace one is currently 30 pages long.
It's a lot of notes on one pod race.
Like, that is hilarious. You have whatever the most useless version of the Library of Alexandria is right now for Star Wars notes.
I don't think I'd be sad if this one burned down. Just saying.
Hey.
Let's
Okay,
be
fair
honest
enough.
here,
The
Jay.
looks that were just exchanged in this Skype call.
Okay, are we happy with? Let's go over the list of members of this Hall of Fame.
All right, we got.
Yeah, get the paintbrush out of your mouth, Ben.
We got Kaki's guy from the holiday special. We have Trinto Duaba
Okay, but that's
from
okay,
episode 4.
yeah.
We have the hamster
That's
from
the
the
Hall of
holiday
Famer.
special. We have Hoogans from
Okay.
episode 7. We have InSync guy from episode 2.
Honorable mention.
honorable
That's
mention.
an
That's an
honorable
honorable mention
mention?
because he's not
I
actually
will
in the
move
movie.
him
He should be,
to
but he's
honorable
not.
mentions.
He was the impetus for the creation of the honorable mentions.
Yes. Honorable mentions. Liam Neeson's piss.
Two lightsaber guy from episode 2.
Yes.
Half-rendered droid from episode 3. Luxor droids from episode 4. Wilro
Yes.
Hood from episode 5.
I feel like we shouldn't name him because that defeats the purpose of the thing, but that makes sense just for
Cream
fun.
maker.
Trinto Duaba's
for,
named. Hoogans is named.
That's fair enough. You make a good
They might be
point.
giants, all of them.
That's honorable
No.
mentions.
And then honorable mentions, we have, obviously, they might be giants. Porkins, the Rancor Keeper, and InSync guy.
In sync,
I feel like honorable
and
mention.
all of the Larry's Garys.
Can I and I won't fight for actual Hall of Fame induction because yes, it's a piece of Star Wars media that exists, but it's not a movie and holiday special and all that. John Bon Jovi.
Honorable mention because he's not even actually in the Star Wars Holiday Special, but I will
Well, that's what I'm saying.
allow
Not in
the honorable
holiday
mention.
special, but he's in an officially released piece of Star Wars content
Yeah.
as his
Fair enough.
recording debut.
I still can't fucking believe that.
Okay, so here's a question. The guy in the Empire audio drama.
Oh!
That
The
responds
guy who
to Han.
notices things.
Yes, sir. I joined the rebellion because I noticed things. That guy
And calling into the
That guy?
show right now.
is.
He's calling the noticer.
Is that guy? Is that individual a Hall of Fame member or an honorable mention?
But also, I
Yeah,
mean, we could
I
fight
feel
for
like-
that the same way we could the holiday special, I guess, where, like, you know, technically official Star Wars content.
Yeah, but I feel like
It's a slippery slope, so I think
Okay,
honorable
honorable
mention for sure.
Yeah, I
to
feel
avoid
like
the slippery slope.
the yes.
We
The
want
slippery
we
slope
have
of
to we
this-
have to maintain the
the piety of
Honorable mention the Burning Hammer. And again, I would like to push for
Honorable
Liam Neeson's
mentions.
piss in the honorable mentions.
Oh god.
I feel like that's good. That's good,
Oh,
yeah?
it'll-
I feel like that's
it'll
a
grow
good.
in no time too.
Oh,
I mean, do we
nah, we'll talk
I
about it
mean,
next
at
week.
that point, do we is the Burning Hammer an honorable mention or is oh god. Yeah,
Kenta
Jesus
Kobashi?
Christ,
No, just the Burning
how the fuck
Hammer.
did I forget?
Nobody that listens to this podcast except you and me knows who Kenta Kobashi is, but we know they all know the Burning Hammer because we've emblazoned it like a Burning Hammer into their minds.
I mean,
Burning
I mean,
Hammer
if
is an honorable mention.
I mean, if they've seen the YouTube copy, you got to see the torso.
They've seen most of him, not all though. Okay, I feel like that's appropriate.
What the fuck is this stupid thing we do?
A stupid thing we do.
Terrific podcast.
Look, hey, hold on. This is a very serious thing that we do. Look at me, I'm a very serious person.
Inconsequential and very unserious to the world. Very serious on our mental health.
Now, do we want to continue avoiding talking about the Phantom Menace and continue the
Yes.
Star Wars music
I was
theme?
looking at my notes, getting ready to. what
do
were you
we
gonna
want to
say?
continue the Star Wars music game?
How far into the episode are we? We do not have time for that. I forgot one.
What do you got for me?
I got one more Hall of Fame member. My bones are aching, Annie lady.
The Sandstorm Lady?
Is she too important, though?
No.
Because I feel like that falls under the Rancor guy.
I also argue that Rancor guy should be in the Hall of Fame.
But Porkins shouldn't.
I mean, Porkins has lines. And he's been on screen for...
So does my bones are aching, Annie.
He has way more screen time than either. He has more screen time than the two of them put together. But also, I'm unopposed to Porkins being in the Star Wars Every Week Forever Hall of Fame, because it's me.
Yeah. He's not honorable mention.
No, I mean the Hall of Fame.
Well, I mean, he's not in the Hall of Fame. By your definition.
No, I'm saying I'm unopposed. I don't care.
But I know, but by your definition of what this is, what you just described, Porkins does not qualify.
This is a stupid podcast.
I do.
Dude.
I do. The validity of the Hall of Fame is important to me.
This is the one rigid thing.
How dare you question the integrity of the Star Wars Every Week Forever?
The long legacy of the Star Wars Every Week Forever Hall of Fame.
It hasn't even been made.
We need to name this Hall of Fame. What's the opposite of a star? The extras of fame? The extras of infamy.
That just sounds like a villain organization of comic book villains who were like not happy.
Thank you. I'll write it to my next D&D game. But should it be the SWEWF extras?
No, that name I don't think for the Hall of Fame is great, but it does lead me to my next question. Should we have a Hall of Shame?
I feel like that's a
what we're
slippery slope.
Yeah. Well, no, I meant like specifically things we hate very much.
No,
that'd just be the movies.
Nobody.
You know, Ben, you're a real downer tonight. That's funny. I'm bringing the whole mood.
I don't think that we need a Hall of Shame, because that's gonna get real granular of us just saying, "Fuck this part of the movie."
Well, no, I mean characters.
Which everyone knows about us already.
Specifically, we hate, like
the reason. Yeah, but that's just a given. Here's my thing. The reason why I came up with the idea of the Hall of Fame is because one of the things I thought we would do more on the show than we have is highlight characters nobody remembers that tickles our fancy. But we talk all the time about characters that we hate.
Yeah, but I feel like we highlighted all these characters and we wouldn't shut up about Trent Onyemata for like 8 rotations. What do you mean?
Yeah, but we did it. In our 15 rotations, in our hold on one second,
that, please. It hurts every time.
Don't.
In our 127 episodes,
Gross.
we have 6 people to add to the Hall of Fame off the top of our head. That's what I'm saying.
That's
like
just the induction
we have.
class. It can't be a bunch, you know.
Well, there's not going to be like a second induction class. It's going to be like,
we should make.
I think this person should be thrown into the Hall of Fame.
We should make this a yearly thing.
No.
Our first episode back. 3 years.
I think this should be one of those things where it's like, I would like this person to go in because they tickled my fancy this week, and that's my thing. Like, here's this person, then we talk about it.
So we are handling it like the other Hall of Fame. Okay.
Yes. This is the reason why I wanted to make it, was to highlight little characters that tickle our fancy that we always remember. And the Hall of Shame, that would be things that we talk about all the time because we highlight the anger and the sadness and the grief more than we do the things that are just like, oh yeah, I remember that person, they made me laugh.
Way to call me out personally outside of this podcast.
Who do you think in this call right now I'm not calling out with that statement? It's all of us. I can't get over the hair. The way it has gotten perpetually worse the entire call.
So, dear listeners, our good friend Chris has, for the entirety of this call...
You look like Jesus going through a... You look like Jesus going through his emo phase.
I mean,
Or his midlife crisis.
You look like the sequel to Passion of the Christ that's about to come out, apparently.
What?
There's apparently a Passion of the Christ 2 that is going
Passion
to come
of the
out.
Christ
That-
with
that
new
is being
original
made.
score by Motley Crue.
So, dear listeners, our good friend Chris currently has a mountain.
We mentioned it
of-
in the
of-
intro.
We didn't mention what it was. We just busted his stones real bad.
No, I made sure to mention it.
Okay.
But yeah, he does have 80s rocker hair on right now.
This is just my hair, you know. This is just who I am now.
Uh-huh.
I can't remove it. It's stuck. I accidentally glued it. Guys, I need help.
Stuck. I glued it on. Nobody told me not to glue it. I would like to revisit a topic. Are we happy with the Hall of Fame for now?
For now.
For now. I'd like to revisit a topic that I brought up the very first episode, or rather the very first episode of the regular podcast. Because, maybe it was the break, I don't know, but it occurred to me again. I would like to talk about the way that instant communication works in the Star Wars universe.
No, I'm
Again,
having flashbacks.
Because I feel like 15 rotations in, this is... So here was the thought process that I had watching the movie this time that made me bring this back up. I was watching the Senate arguments again. And it struck me, it was like, there's not one bozo on Naboo on HoloNet Twitter just saying, hey, shit's pretty bad outside my fucking window. Like, I look outside and there's fucking droids marching down the street. What the fuck? There's
Well,
not one.
No,
They shut
they're
off
not-
all communications going in and out of the planet, remember?
Yeah, their account.
Right, but is that not in and of itself
Well,
odd?
their account.
Well, yes,
was
but like, how
probably,
could anyone...
Their account was probably just banned because they were like tracking one of the separatist ships or something.
The point is, like, the fact that there's no communication coming out of the planet, the fact that nobody has sent any kind of delegation to try to film it or whatever, and specifically the fact that there's no communication should be enough for there to be an investigation, right? Like, this is a world, and don't get me wrong, this is a movie that came out in 1998, and we're dealing with a period that didn't know what instant communication was going to be like. So, you have to give the movie that. But this is me talking about this because we're on a Forever podcast, and it struck me because we're watching it in 2023. And, God, that feels weird to say still. Probably not for the people that are listening to this right now, because this is a ways off. But I'm watching this in 2023. We're talking about the most advanced that the Star Wars universe will ever be. And nobody sent cameras. The Senate in and of itself does not think it's unusual that an entire planet's social media feeds just went dead out of nowhere.
Well, I don't know if they have
But it's this big debate.
social media feeds, you know? Like, we don't know if there's social media in Star Wars. Also, I feel like in 2023, unfortunately, you can't make this argument because we have literally in the last couple of weeks watched entire countries' social media feeds just go dark.
You make a good point. I rescind my comment. I rescind my comment. You are correct. Yeah.
You can't look. It's it's that old quote. The truth is stranger than fiction. It's just like you're trying to make this argument, and we're literally watching this shit happen.
Chris, I'm calling you out on the podcast. If you don't start tweeting that picture of Elon every day, I'm going to do it myself.
I mean, I don't care who does it as long as it gets done. But yeah, I'll get on that.
Okay, I'll do it.
It's got to be one of you, because I
I'll
don't
do
have
it.
any Twitter anymore.
I mean, we all have access to the Star Wars Every Week Forever Twitter account, though, is the thing. That's why I said
That's
doing
a
it
power
from the
I should
account.
not be trusted with.
You think it's a power I should be trusted with?
None of us should be... You all have had You all have had me handle it for 2.5 years. Me! I harassed Danny DeVito when he puts up pictures of his feet to come on the podcast, and you trusted me with it?
Yes, that's a very responsible use of our Twitter.
Because I'm
I think you underestimate the
Yeah.
creative bullshit that can come out of my brain.
And I'm just fighty. I'll just fight people. I'll get us banned. Oh, and she's gone. She's
lost her.
racing off to tweet at Elon Musk.
Woman, she's racing.
She's racing off to tweet Elon Musk right now. I mean, hey, I'll start tweeting. That's fine. Maybe I'll live tweet my next. I'll live tweet my next watch. Maybe. That's what I'll do.
No, you don't have to start tweeting. I just want to specifically start harassing Elon Musk, and since you brought it up, I figured I'd put it in your ball court, your court.
I've kind of talked myself into this now. I'm gonna live tweet one of my watches.
Once that purchase happened, my Twitter went straight in the trash can.
Hey, look, I'm handling the destruction of Twitter the way I would ideally like to handle the actual apocalypse. Just sitting back and watching shit burn, you know? Like, just talking shit with my dearest friends and watching everything around me burn. You know, that's Twitter right now. We had a good run. I have
any
seen
fond memories of Twitter.
I have seen other empires fall. I lived through MySpace. Alright, we'll be fine.
I have
No, I've bad memories of Twitter. I was in a bad spot when I had a Twitter when I was younger, so I don't fuck with that shit.
Just lock your account like I did with mine.
Anyway, how many?
3.
Let's sit down and. I mean, that might be the answer, but I doubt it. Let's sit down and sleuth this for a second. How many child endangerment charges can we put up against Qui-Gon Jinn in this movie,
many.
specifically?
So
So many.
And 90% of them are with Anakin.
Well, I mean that. Who else did he put in danger that he would get a child? I'm trying to think.
I mean, Padme.
Oof. Yeah, you make a good point. You make a good point.
The only other child present.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So let's see if we can rack them up, right?
So, where do we even start?
I'm going to start at the end and go to the beginning because it's the one that is most... Putting a child inside of a war machine and telling him to stay there. That's definitely child endangerment.
I mean, okay.
And maybe
what are we
against...
doing? Are we just totaling up
against
crimes?
we're totaling up his child endangerment
hold on,
clauses.
I will say... Putting him inside of a starfighter he should have no right to understand how to pilot, even though Qui-Gon knows he probably could, is safer than having him in the active war zone directly outside of the spaceship currently.
Right, but he still brought him into the active war zone that he
It's
intended
not
to
a good
prevent.
defense.
Instead, he put him into an active war zone in the vacuum of space, you know?
Okay, I'm suddenly realizing that this might not be the best time to have this conversation because this actually might get all swept up in the thing that I've been threatening to do for quite a long time, which is do an entire rotation where we chalk up the amount of oh god, I can't
War
think.
crimes?
Geneva Convention violations.
The amount of war crimes that are committed in these movies.
I mean, I don't really...
Yeah, the amount of times that they break the laws of the Geneva Convention. I'm realizing just having a child in an active war zone inside of a that's probably against the Geneva Conventions, isn't it?
Probably.
So I feel like maybe this is for whenever I read all, I don't know how many pages is the Geneva Conventions. It's a lot more than I thought.
Some
But
of
it's
them
a
are very
lot.
funny. Like, they make sense, but some of them are just very funny visually.
Do we want to say publicly on a podcast that some of the Geneva Conventions are very
Sure.
funny?
I'll defend myself. The one about not being able to shoot down enemy combatants who are coming down in parachutes, very visually fucking funny. You're just a row of dudes standing outside watching guys come down in parachutes, and you're just like waving, like, all right, hold on, we'll wait. Hold on.
I'm having instant regrets for saying that we should talk about it being funny.
Like, I get it. It makes sense. It's the polite thing to do, I suppose, but it's a very funny visual to me.
224 pages long.
That sounds about right.
And one day I'm gonna read all that for this stupid
I mean, I'll
podcast.
fucking do it.
I'll do it. We'll have a book club for the Geneva
I-
Conventions.
We Forever Book Club. Book number 1, the Geneva
We gotta
Convention.
get off this subject. We have to get off this subject, please.
What's wrong? You afraid of understanding some war crimes, Jay?
I swear to God, I'll do a tone poem.
Don't you fucking dare. I'll leave.
Yeah, hold on. I take it back. I take that very, very seriously.
I have them right here. They're always there when we're doing Phantom
Despite
Menace.
how the hair makes me look, I will not enjoy these tone poems. Please don't.
Oh my God, you look like you're attending the poetry slam in the second episode of Daria.
We're over a normal one.
We're having a really normal one. It was all normal until we stopped talking about the SWEWF Hall of Fame.
Oh, we had nowhere to go but up from there. I mean,
I have a note here. We already brought it up briefly, but I wrote down, and I wish I was high when I wrote this, but I did not. The Duel of, for a while, the Duel of the Fates has been nothing but dry, and I was getting sick of it. But this watch specifically, I found it sick. So I really wish I was high for that particular thing, so that I didn't have to feel the secondhand embarrassment of that.
of enjoying
But
the
there
Duel
it
of the
is.
Fates.
No, of writing down sick.
How many eyes are in that sick?
Too many.
Oh no.
At least a dozen. Looks like maybe about a dozen. I can't get over. You have this giant orange cup
Is this orange?
that you're drinking out of right now. I know it's water, but it's also it's like what you use when you stop using red Solo cups, and when you get a little bit more serious about your drinking, and that fits the look that you have right now way too
I thought
much.
it was green.
It's
Oh.
orange, at least on my
It's
camera.
It's like I'd say it's almost pink, like a pinkish orange kind of.
Yeah, it is getting near pink.
I mean, I am colorblind, but still, I thought it was great. It is news to me that cup is orange.
That's what your reaction of. This is orange. I was just like, oh god, I shouldn't laugh at this. Yeah, that was like a fucking Minch laugh.
Jesus Christ.
Christ, what are we doing? What is this? What is happening?
I don't know. I don't
We live
know.
in a
This is
liminal
what happens when we're
space.
out of practice. This is what happens when we're out of practice doing the podcast.
Standard podcast to me.
This podcast is a liminal space that exists only in my mind, and I'm not even convinced other people exist right now.
This feels like a pretty standard episode of this podcast to me. I don't know what you guys are doing.
Jay's trying to make me go on some kind of acid trip. I don't know what's happening.
Already there, Jay. Already there.
Oh, that's my new editing toy. Whenever I feel like I have to open any of the mini social medias, I pick that up and I flip it over, and that deals with the ADHD riddled thoughts of not working on the podcast. That's the SWEWF lava lamp, tilt lava lamp, whatever. So this fucking movie.
I hate this fucking movie. I hate all these fucking movies. They're all bullshit.
Okay, theoretically, if we were to do a Hall of Shame, which we're not, but we're doing it. We're not doing the Hall of Shame, but theoretically, if we did, what absolutely 1,000% would be in it?
Lotto.
Do we want to go by the rules that we set earlier, that it has to be little things that drive us fucking nuts?
It's just
No.
the Hall of Shame.
Watto, is it?
The Hall of Shame is going to be every racist stereotype in the original or the prequel trilogy.
Yep. Well, and the blackface in the Star Wars Holiday
Absolutely.
Special, which is at the top of the list of all of them.
I do love how little we've talked about this movie on our return episode. It makes me happy. We haven't lost a step, truly, and that's the best part. Like we're
The pod race. I
Pod
will
Race is in the Hall of
personally
Shame,
put
man.
into
No,
it.
I will.
Pod race
Nope,
is in the
nope,
Hall of
nope.
Shame.
Nope.
Yeah, Chris and I agree. You're outvoted.
Nope. I will not. I refuse.
Pod race is in the Hall of
Well, man, now
Shame.
you're
Well, then
questioning the
I
integrity
shall
of the Hall
also
of
be
Shame.
in the
Congratulations.
Hall of Shame. I shall exist with the
You,
podcast.
you
in the
can
Hall of
you can
Shame.
go
Hey,
into
we're
it.
the
Ben, don't write it down because this is an actual
I'm
thing.
doing
It's
it.
just talk bait for us to say
I'm doing
things.
it. You can't stop
we're
me.
the headline. Look, if Trento Duaba is the headlining inductee of the Hall of Fame, this podcast is the hall, like the inductee
Yes.
of the Hall of Shame. All right.
I feel okay. I will allow us to have a Hall of Shame if and only if the only induction into it is this podcast.
That feels like a lot of work for not a lot of payoff.
This podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. The only thing in the Hall of Shame is this
Well,
podcast.
no, I'm saying a lot of work for very little payoff. This podcast.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's true. It's true.
God.
Hey, we're on the road to 38 subscribers on YouTube. You wanna...
Our lofty goal for the year of 38 podcast subscribers.
Two more subscribers, baby. We're almost there.
It's like when people on like social media are like, I'm like 2,000 away from this benchmark. Let's get those followers up, and they get it within like 20 minutes. We're over here like, we need 2 more followers. Can we get 2 more
Before the end of the year?
See, if we were smarter, or if I gave more of a shit, we joke about this. But I think part of the reason why we're not bigger than we are is because I'm so devoted to the bit that one day this will be like a fucking, what's the thing that you bury in the ground at a school? A time capsule that's... This podcast is a time capsule to our shame that someone will stumble upon someday. I'm sure if I wasn't devoted to that idea, I would advertise it way more. Also, if I wasn't afraid to get yelled at on 17 million fucking forums like I did when I first advertised the podcast, that's definitely
also,
part of
like...
it. I feel spurned and I'm afraid to be yelled at by human beings
on
the internet.
I'll take that job if you want, because I love nothing more than being yelled at by human beings, both in real life and on the internet. Because I really engaging with that.
But like I am very devoted to the idea that this never gets more traction than we have right now, and then one day, maybe while we're alive, maybe not, someone's like, what the fuck is this? And they put it up on there's a YouTuber called Jazz Emu who did a really brilliant video that's a music video of what he thought the future of the internet would be like, and it was just MSN Messenger in the future, like put into people's brains. So whatever like future Reddit in our brains is, it's just like, look at this fucking relic of the past. What the fuck is this?
Pulled from? Because I don't know what it's pulled from, and if you...
What are you doing?
What's going on?
If you... You know how, like, when you Google... Well, hold on. I'll put this in Discord. Because I Googled Star Wars Every Week Forever just to see what, like, the first thing that popped up was. Because I don't do that. I don't Google us.
I do that every few months just to see what's going on, so I'm probably seeing it.
We got one of these, like, Google Knowledge Index boxes at the very top where, you know, we're listed as comedy
Oh, that
podcast
happens. Yeah, that's just because Google automatically
it comes
does
from the
that.
knowledge graph, but we didn't have one of those the last time I did this. Like, it just popped up with our results.
Google automatically... That, Oh, that is new. Hey,
We're
look.
famous.
Look
We're
at us.
famous.
Look at us.
Look at us. Oh, no, that's been there a while. That's literally only because, I think
It's based on
like
their knowledge graph
iTunes
algorithm.
or... Yeah. And they grab that from, like, various things and so on and so forth, and I think that's why. But that's pretty cool. Let me check images here real quick, because I'm always curious of what the images are. Oh, no, I have to do SWEWF for that. I always forget. And then I have to undo Sweef, which is... Sweef is a thing. Oh, it's the picture of Kylo Ren as an Andalite and an Animorphs thing as our top result, other than... Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, no, why would I think
I know,
otherwise?
when I Google SWEWF, it's just furniture.
I know, you have to click on the Did You Mean?
I don't have a Did You Mean for Star Wars Every Week Forever.
No,
Oh,
if you
search
Google
instead
SWEWF...
for-
See, I
search
I
instead for the...
searched SWEWF, and I got our Twitter, I got our Reddit, I got our YouTube page, I got the TikTok I can't get into.
Oh, I'm looking at images.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking at images. Go to
Oh, yeah, it's a
images
lot of
and look at
furniture.
the top
There's a lot of
result.
furniture.
Okay, so click on the thing that brings you to the thing that you actually search for, not the autocorrect.
First thing I get
And
is
look at
Kylo
the-
Ren Animorphs.
Yeah.
Incredible.
This is just
Yep, that's
and
what
then
I was
below
saying.
that,
That makes sense.
below
That's-
that is Han Solo in the Cutlass Sierra with Vader hammering a stormtrooper behind it.
it's just all of Jay's amazing photo edits.
Incredible. This makes me happy.
Yep. The next one is Luke Skywalker submerged
In a dunk tank.
in a dunk tank. And George Lucas's Anakin plus Padme to the man, I put a lot of effort into that for something that I totally forgot existed until now. Oh, and Ben's picture is here too. One of the top results is the intro that we did for our 100th episode, and it's a picture of from a noir movie of Palpatine. Ben with the corn cob in his mouth and headphones on a suited gentleman.
Incredible.
This has been Star Wars every
This
week
is
forever. Thank you all so much for watching a podcast where I once put Ben's head on a noir picture with big titty Palpatine.
It's beautiful.
We love you all so much. Good night. I'm crying.
Honorable mention to the Hall of Fame, Big Titty Palpatine.
Good night.
If you enjoyed that episode, why not like and subscribe? Also, share it with a couple friends. Bring them into this hellscape that we've done to ourselves. You can catch brand new episodes every single Wednesday on Spotify, Pandora, YouTube, and pretty much every other platform you get your podcasts on. If you'd like to extend the suffering, you can catch us over on Twitter.com at SWEWF. We post direct links to brand new episodes every week as soon as we upload them, and you can catch the occasional other dumb Star Wars take, and who wouldn't want that? Catch you guys later.